jump up and serve people.
Are you the girl 55?
Is this?
You're sitting at this table with Brother Tate, okay? Yeah. Over here. Over here. That's your seat. Yeah, that's here.
Here's the big mama.
We're right on the time. It's ready time, 7 o'clock. And this is going to be, for the most part, read. It will be very unlikely that you can take part in it, as the custom is among Jewish people at this time. But we intend to set forth every action, every kind of a thing that's done in this that is a very important occasion. Now, I'm not talking about the Jewish people. It's important to the Jewish people, but it's important to the Jewish people because it was something that was going to happen in their future. This is the last act that Jesus made before he left the scene of his ministry. I don't know whether you all realize that or not.
Yeah.
And he said, I have earnestly desired to keep the Passover, not because he was a Jew, but because the act of the Passover represented something to both Jew and Gentile. And therefore it's important for us to understand those things. That's the reason we come here tonight. I'll begin reading. I'll begin reading for the sake of those who do not have a copy of this. It's called the Haggadah. The form followed in celebrating the Feast of Passover is known as the Haggadah. From Hebrew, the Haggadah, which is taken from Exodus 13:8. And it says, "And you shall show, or rather tell, thy son." Thus the Haggadah is the telling of the events surrounding the travail of Egypt's bondage. The Seder, or order, of the Haggadah was originally three. The succeeding generations have added legends and melodies. The core of passages is ancient, the ritual in use in Jesus' time. But the pressures of Christianity and Islam resulted in additions in the 8th and 9th centuries, such as the Inquisition, just as the Inquisition in the 15th century added more. Through the years, the original purpose of the feast, the slaying of an unblemished lamb, the faithful then eating that lamb while the death angel passed over, has been made secondary to thoughts of freedom from political and religious oppression. The modern Haggadah has therefore become more a recollection of past bondage and a cry for future freedom than an investigation of the symbolisms around the lamb offering. For this reason, at this Passover observance, we will omit much of the medieval rabbinical commentary and hold to the ancient program. Mount Sinai being the fountainhead of the three religions, which hold that there is one God, Judaism, Christendom, and Islam, we need to take a look backward and see what has happened to what was delivered by the hand of Moses. Judaism has been frozen by commandment in the unswerving observance of the fasts and feasts, and is a library of laws which must be physically obeyed. The communion, as it is practiced in Christendom, is a vague copy of the Passover. The early church fathers taught that since the Jew was cast away from God, so also is their law no longer relevant, considering themselves a sort of spiritual Israel, to which a smattering of the Old Testament applied, that is, a Sabbath day and tithing. But the Passover observance is a key crossover point between the two religions. Early Christendom condensed the Passover feast to a ritual based around 1 cup of wine instead of 5, which was drunk by the priest, and wafers, not necessarily unleavened. I remember when I was just a child, when they were about to serve the communion, my somebody would bake a cake and cut it in little squares, and we'd eat a piece of cake, not unleavened bread, which were distributed to the communicants, calling it Mass. Believing that the unity of the Jews was motivated by the Passover ceremony, they appropriated part of it, arranging what had been given by the hand of God into a pitiful caricature. In time, all of Christendom, Catholic and Protestant, has been based on this ceremony. By the Catholic miracle of transubstantiation, gullible people are led to believe that the wine and cracker are actually the blood and natural body of Jesus, while others are led to believe that communion has miraculous power to make the communicant a member of the body of Christ. And in any case, the condemnation is how it is used. Not to be in communion is to be excommunicated. For centuries, excommunication has been a whip with gold. Sadly, Christendom has swerved and nullified the symbolism of the original Jewish observance. The feast that the Father conceived to culminate Jesus' earthly ministry, inscribed as a memorial to be kept by the Jewish nation. Howbeit, Israel is using their own celebration to describe the events in an order which is to come. However, the events and substances in this feast were like all the rest of Moses' law. They were carnal and natural, not having any spiritual power. The only function of the Passover feast was to symbolize something greater, which was to come, the moon reflecting the sun. Therefore, it is of great importance that we respect the fact that God has required the Jewish people to continually repeat this and other ordinances, and we should pray that this is the time that they realize their meaning, their fulfillment. Quoting Paul, the law was our schoolmaster to bring us to Christ. Preparing the table, the elements that are used on the ceremonial plate are listed. There's instead of a lamb, for centuries after the destruction of the temple, Jewish people have used the shank bone of either a lamb or a fowl, maybe a turkey or a chicken. That's used yet today, because very seldom is there enough lamb to go around in some of the larger cities where the Jewish people number the millions. Roasted egg, bitter herbs, mushrooms, greens, parsley, celery, lettuce, carpas. Mixture of grated nuts, grated apples, cinnamon, and wine. Now I'm supposed to be garbed in white. There's a ceremonial plate. That's the kiddush cup, the decanter of wine, large goblet for Elijah, dish of salt water, and 3 matzos, placed one on top of the other, and it's covered usually. Now the order of the service is Kaddish, or sanctification, to sanctify the name of God. Urahas, wash hands. Wash the hands, the master of the house. Karpas, the greens. Eat green vegetables after dipping in salt water. The hots, division. Right in the middle of the 3 matzot. Magi, recitation. Tell the story of the Exodus. Tzah, washing. Wash the hands before the meal. Motzi, bringing forth. Say the hamotzi. Matzah, unleavened bread. Recite the blessing for the matzah. Maror, bitter herbs. Eat the bitter herbs. Korech, binding. Eat the matzah and maror sandwich. It was instituted by Hillel. Shulchan Aruch, prepared table. Enjoy the festive meal. Safun, hidden. Find and eat the afikomen. Afikomen is a Greek word. It was instituted after the Greek Empire subjugated the Jewish people before the Roman Empire did. many things were instituted during that time. Even the present use of the 5 books of Moses are based on a Greek interpretation of the 5 books of Moses. Barak, blessing. Blessing after the meal. Hallel, Psalms of praise. Recite the Hallel, which is Psalms 113 and 114. Nirtzah, that means that this offering has been accepted. Unleavened bread, obeying the injunction found in Exodus 13:7. There shall be no leaven seen in your home and in your borders. Every Jewish home is purged of any vestige of leaven before the Passover. According to Jewish tradition, leaven represents Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination. That's a truth established in Jewish doctrine. There is an evil inclination. Human nature. Actually, there is very little difference between matzah and hummus. Unleavened bread and leavened bread. Water is added to flour and it is kneaded. If it is baked within 18 minutes, it is unleavened. If not, it begins to rise and becomes leavened. The greatest danger to the soul of man is to receive that which at one time was the Word of God, but which after a while became exalted with ceremony and tradition. Amen? Amen. Jesus warned his followers more than once, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees. Pharisees were the most pious elements of that day. The Apostle Paul, in his letter to the Corinthians, expresses it this way: know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump? Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us. Therefore let us keep the feast, not with the old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. What more could be said about this analogy, which so aptly describes the puff of human nature, the exaltation of the carnal mind? Blessing of the festival candles. Before sunset and prior to sitting down to the Seder, the mother and daughter light 2 candles and pray. Would you be good enough? You English first, and then we do by
Sure. I don't hear Joella when you read this. Read that. What do you Has she got the thing?
Our God and God of our fathers, may the rays of these festival candles cast their glow upon the earth of thy divine light, even as that which they symbolize, the 2 anointed ones, the 2 witnesses spoken of by prophet Zechariah, are rising to eliminate the greatest Sabbath of all, 7,000 years. Grant that these two great light givers, the spirit of Moses and Elijah, who presides over the Passover, to guide those who dwell in darkness and bondage to you, our everlasting friend. Amen.
No. The English or the Hebrew? ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו, וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת ושל יום טוב. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהשקיענו והקמנו והגענו לזמן כזה.
Praise be thou, O Lord our God, who is the universe, who has sanctified us with thy commandments, and enjoyed upon us with each front, treating the Sabbath as the gifts of the light. Praise be thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has kept us in life, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this evening.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך, יאר אדוני פניך ואליך ויחונך, יישא אדוני פניך אליך ויעשה לך שלום.
May God bless you and keep you. May God cause his spirit to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May God turn his spirit into you and grant you peace.
We begin this service by sanctifying the name of God. With a fervent hope that it will soon be planted in his order, an order that will come together during soon a Passover service.
Pour the first cup of wine, grape juice or whatever. That's grape juice. There's grape juice and wine. Oh, we got it. Yeah, this is broken. There's one open.
In unison now. In the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. We give glory to the Lord of all Sabbaths, who has brought us from the real Sabbath. We are now standing on the threshold of the greatest Sabbath of all, the 7,000-year day since he first began to speak to the human family. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has ordained your Passover as an evening sacrifice, a source of light and life during the dark time of a new day. As the blood of the Paschal offering was stricken over the door of the first Passover, that the entering in of the people of God was sanctified from a world of disorder, we now hallow this occasion with wine, the blood of grapes. As the blood of the Paschal animal was elevated as an offering, to which your divine reply was life, a life for a life, we also now lift this cup, symbolizing our lives, trusting by your grace that this offering will create a sanctification for the Israel of God. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who creates the fruit of the vine. ascend into the hill of the Lord? Who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, hath not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive a blessing from the Lord, and righteousness from the God of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob. Now the karpas, or the grains, is distributed to everyone.
And we take your ceremony.
It is said, God had brought forth as a root out of a dry ground his anointed. Full of a new life, he was a fruitful bough. His earthly ministry was ended, cut short in a way which had been prophesied by King David. Where I was not an enemy that reproached me, then I could have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me, that did magnify himself against me. Then I would have hid myself from him. But it was thou, a man mine equal, my guide, mine acquaintance. We took sweet counsel together, and walked into the house of God in Matthew records that during the Passover, Jesus told his disciples that one of them would betray him. When asked who it was, Jesus answered, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. It was at this point, the dipping of the green herbs in the salt water, that Judas dipped in the dish. His own salty tears, those of Simon Peter, the tears of the women at the cross, all bathed the Master that fateful night and day. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who created a life-giving spirit. The next sequence is Yahat's division. Of the three matzot before us tonight, the middle matzah is to be broken into unequal portions, the larger being hidden, and the smaller being wrapped in the napkin. During the existence of the temple, the Passover lamb was eaten at the close of the meal. After having partaken of the sacrificial meat, no other food might be eaten. After sacrifices ceased for the destruction of the temple, a piece of matzah was eaten instead at the close of the meal. This piece of matzah was known as the apikon, the Greek word for dessert. This is what the larger piece of the middle matzah is now called. After designating Judas as his betrayer, Jesus continued with the Seder. Remember that Jesus was not talking to us, he was talking to 12 Jewish apostles who are to judge the 12 tribes. As they were eating the meal, Jesus took bread and blessed it and brake it, gave it to his disciples and said, "Take, eat. This is my body." In other words, the bread, not the lamb, now symbolizes his body, his many-membered body. Jesus had taken the piece of matzah that would later be called the afikomen and used it as a symbol of the fact that the Jewish people must accept the body of which Christ is the head. John had called Jesus the Lamb, and he was telling them that they could no longer just accept the Paschal Lamb, but also his body. Paul, the apostle of the Gentiles, also tells the Jewish people, "Wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he saith, Sacrifice and offering thou wouldst not, but a body hast thou prepared me. He taketh away the first offering, that he may establish the second offering, by the which we Jews are sanctified through the offering of the body of Jesus Christ once for all. a new and a living way, which he hath consecrated for us Jews through the veil, that is to say, his flesh. This is found in the book of Hebrews, 10th chapter. That same writer, Paul, speaking to a called out people from among the Gentiles, says, for we, being many, are one bread and one body, for we are all partakers of that one bread. It was prophetic, setting the pattern for future Seder observance, as Jesus and the apostles were eating the Paschal lamb. Jesus broke matzah and served it to his Jewish followers. Exactly the change that would take place after the destruction of the temple. Remembering this was before the destruction of the temple. He broke matzah. It was prophetic. When the lamb could no longer be used. In today's Seder, the breaking of the bread takes place where we are now in the Seder. But the large part of the matzah, afikomen, was left in the place where Jesus instituted it after the bitter herbs and the place where the lamb was formerly eaten. The afikomen will be hidden in tonight's ceremony until then. At this time in the Seder, there are 3 matzahs placed on one plate. Among Jewry, there has never been a concrete answer to what their purpose is. Some have thought that they were representative of Kohen, Levi, and Israel, the 3 orders of worship in the synagogue. As for the middle matzah, which is to be broken at this time, there is one conflicting guesswork. There's only conflicting guesswork. Our confidence is that God let holy men institute these traditions against the time when answers could be given that would let their own traditions bear out the truth. Jesus was that bread which came down from heaven, making him the uppermost. The middle is his body. We, being many, are one bread. The lowest matzah picturing a restored Israel. The 3 elements under God, which will be his order in the earth. The middle matzah is broken to show that the foundation of the body of Christ was laid 2,000 years ago, but today the building, the major part, is being built, and it is hidden from Jew and Gentile. I hope we can all, if we take this home, can reread this. The master of the house then takes the middle matzah, breaks it in 2. The smaller portion is left in its place, while the larger is put under the cushions of his seat. Is that it? I'll mention again, this is something the Jewish people have been doing year after year after year after year for hundreds and hundreds of years. And when we begin to describe it in the way that we're describing it tonight, I believe it will do more than standing on the street corner with a Bible and trying to convince them out of something out of the New Testament.
Right.
I don't have a cushion.
He knows what.
It's okay.
Oh, I
Oh, I took the wrong piece. The larger part is reserved till today. Uncover the matzah, lift the ceremonial plate, and say, this is the word of God. All who are hungry have been come in and eat. All who are needy have been come in and celebrate the Passover. Take bone, egg, off, and remove the ceremonial plate for a second cup of wine. Asking, why is this night different from all other nights? Answers today being confined to the foods of the Seder. But in temple days, the first question used to refer to the eating of the Passover sacrifice.
Why is this night different from all other nights?
Because tonight we are thinking on why Jesus said, except you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you can't have life.
I still didn't understand why is this night different from all other nights.
Because we're beginning to understand how Passover survives service affects people from among the Gentiles.
Where's Lola? Lola? For Benjamin?
Can you read?
This is. Can you read it? Where? Marguerite can read. Where's Marguerite?
Why is this night different?
The last one.
Last night. Because it will be on Passover that Elijah will
Rabbi Gamaliel used to say, anyone who fails to explain these three things on Passover has not done his duty. They are Pesach, Passover service, matzah, unleavened bread, maror, bitter herb.
Oh, you
Where?
Go ahead, Lola, read it again. Here's on where it says.
Why is this night different from all other nights?
Marguerite.
On this occasion, we and all lift the Passover cup and our hearts in thanks as a child to the Father, to our one Lord, for giving us the beginning of Passover.
AJ. Among this people, as in Israel, there has existed the four elements, symbolically rendered as the four sons in Haggadah tradition. We also can make this time-honored statement. The Torah speaks of our sons. One is wise, one is wicked, one is simple, and one does not even know how to ask. What does the wise son say? What is the meaning of both Moses and Elijah being the principal figures of the Passover service? I must explain that the spirit of Moses presides over the natural, the preparatory, and the spirit of Elijah, the spiritual, the eventual fulfillment. What does the wicked son say? Why doesn't Elijah ever come to the door? You must explain that he's not dead, but he has been visiting, perhaps out among the Gentiles. Will return just in time to save the firstborn of Israel.
Amen.
No need to explain that he will never see him, because this wicked son does not have the faith of Elisha, to whom Elijah said, "If thou see me when I'm taken." because it will take the same faith to see him come again. What does the simple son say? What is there for me to do? You must explain that what is to be is more important than what he is to do. As for the son who does not know how to ask, let him first prepare himself, rid himself of his burdens and distractions. Study the wise son and be humble. Till then, he would have no room for an answer should he. Rabbi Gamaliel used to say, anyone who fails to explain these three things on Passover has not done his duty. They are Pesach, Passover sacrifice, Matzah, unleavened bread, Maror, bitter herb. Point to the Matzah and Maror. May the Eternal, who has established and symbolized the sacrifice of a firstborn for a firstborn, grant in us the willingness to partake of his word, his commandments in sincerity and truth, not desiring the leaven of hypocrisy. Grant us the hunger expressed by Solomon in his word. The full soul loatheth in the honeycomb, but to the hungry soul every bitter thing is sweet. We are therefore duty bound to thank, praise, laud, glorify, and exalt, to honor, bless, extol, and adore him who performed all these wonders. Now let us sing him a new song. Hallelujah. By your grace, let us in our days see the new heavens and the new earth. Jerusalem rejoicing and her people a joy. Grant that from the four corners of the earth the breath of God will soon breathe upon your slain. Speedily give us a full stature, or enough that we may grasp the groping hand of toiling Samson. Amen. Together we raise heavenward the blood of the grape, a symbol of our seal to the words of our mouth to you, our Father, our guide, and our friend.
Can we do it? Yeah. This is for your table. Everybody just dip your hands in and then dry your. Yeah, you just.
That's kind of like running back.
Hey, Jen. Jen, that is one table. They have one.
In unison. In unison. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has promised to open a fountain for sin and wonder. Giver of gifts, hasten the latter rain, flood the earth with your life-giving spirit. In a symbol we cleanse our hands, but thou must make us clean. Almighty Master of all creation, blessed are your ways, who has brought forth the bread of life. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has opened eternal mysteries and allowed finite beings the word of life. Correct. Binding. The master of the house takes the bread and makes a sandwich of bitter herbs to ease and distributes to all.
Into the brown stuff.
Okay, sorry about that. On your table, it's white. Horseradish.
The white stuff?
The red stuff.
The horseradish.
The white one?
The white one.
Salt and eat some. Now we're doing the bitter herbs. Now we need a bigger piece. Now we need another one to put the bitter herbs on. Or dip it.
No, not like this.
Okay, hold on.
Now remembering that the large matzah represents the Jewish people, the nation of Israel. Thus will the law go forth of Zion, and from the Jewish people, which is what this matzah represents, encompassing and healing the bitterness of the world. No problem will be so great but that it will be covered by the word of God. Now it's time for the evening meal, and the service will continue after the evening meal.
We're going to eat now, and then come back up. She had given her a
Prayer afterward is, O Lord our God, let this bread, this his manna, glorify thy name in the earth. Let its place between the higher and the lower be speedily fulfilled. Let the righteous run into this strong tower, and let your name be praised. Oh, I will wait for those to return to it.
Oh, where's the kids? This is
has to be grape juice. Thank you.
take this to
Pass this around. with what it represents, falls right in line. I'm sure that a good many of you didn't follow that, but if you have access to one of these, and we'll be glad to strike off a copy for you of this, we get to study that. What the three sections, or the three matzot represent. And the Jewish people don't know. They're at odds with one another on what they do. Still, they use it. Good job. Now, this is the time for the third cup to be filled. And grace after use. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things for them. The Lord hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Turn again our captivity, O Lord, as the streams in the south. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. That's Psalm 126.
Art Salenu, Art Salenu, Art Salenu, Art Salenu, Art Salenu, Art Salenu. King Arashu, Nevam Saranu, King Arashu, Nevam Saranu, we are ascending, our way we're wending to Israel's ancient homeland. We are ascending, our way we're wending to Israel's ancient homeland. We've done our plowing, finished our sowing, worked with the harrow, ended our hoeing, but going slow in sadness, we've not yet breathed in gladness. We've not yet breathed in gladness. We've not yet breathed in gladness.
Gentlemen, let us say grace. Blessed be the name of God from this time forth and forevermore. With your permission, let us praise our God, of whose store we have eaten. Blessed be our God, of whose store we have eaten, and whose goodness preserves us. Blessed be he, and blessed be his name. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who feeds the whole world with his goodness, with grace, loving kindness, and mercy. He giveth food to all flesh, for his loving kindness endureth forever.
May the merciful Father send us Elijah the prophet, and be he remembered for his goodness, and may he announce to us good tidings of salvation and comfort.
הרחמן הוא ישלח לנו את אליהו הנביא זכור וטוב, ויבשר לנו בשורות טובות, ישועות ונחמות.
Grant that the 12 foundations of Israel be enthroned with all created the fruit of God. character in Jewish history is so surrounded with a halo of mystery and wonder as is that of Elijah. He's the champion of the oppressed. He brings hope, cheer, and relief. He performs miracles. According to Jewish tradition, it is Elijah who can explain all the difficult passages in the Bible, will settle all future controversies, but most of all, he will announce the coming of Mashiach. According to the prophet Malachi, he was to come before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord, and he was to turn the heart of the fathers, the prophets, Acts 2:25, to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers. No doubt this spirit of Elijah is again on the scene, calling forth the people from among the Gentiles. He came from Gentile country, a many-membered body. In the Transfiguration, Jesus counseled with two witnesses, Moses and Elijah. It will be at the Passover table that God will call these two together again. A people with the spirit of Moses will invite a people full of the spirit of Elijah to come in and will bless them. Behold, I stand at the door, the Passover door, and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him, and he with me. As the Jewish people open the door, hoping for Elijah at this point in the Passover service, they say, "Blessed be he who comes," which will be a fulfillment of Jesus' words. You shall not see me henceforth till ye say, "Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord."
Leave the door open. No, leave it open. Leave it open. Oh, the door is closed. Yeah,
I love the Lord because he has heard my voice and my supplication.
will find his ear on me. Therefore will I call upon him as long as I live.
The sorrows of death compassed me. The pains of hell have kept hold upon me. I found trouble and sorrow.
Therefore I call the name of the Lord. O Lord, I beseech thee, deliver my soul.
Gracious is the Lord, and righteous. Yea, our God is merciful.
The Lord preserveth the simple. I was brought low, and thou helped me.
Turn to thy rest, O my soul, for the Lord hath dealt bountifully with thee.
For thou hast delivered my soul from death, my eyes from tears, and my feet from
I
falling.
will walk before the Lord in the land of the living.
I believe, therefore I have spoken. I was greatly afflicted.
I said in my haste, all men are liars.
What shall I render unto the Lord for all his benefits toward me?
I will take the cup of salvation and call upon the name of the Lord.
I will pay my vows unto the Lord, now in the presence of all his people.
Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints.
O Lord, truly I am thy servant. I am thy servant, and the son of thine handmaid. Thou hast loosed my bonds.
I will offer to thee the sacrifice of thanksgiving. Will call upon the name of the Lord.
I will pay my vows unto the Lord, now in the presence of all his people.
In the courts of the Lord's house, in the midst of thee, O Jerusalem.
Praise ye the Lord.
Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall say no more say, The Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But The Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, from all countries whither I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land.
Amen.
The prophet Jeremiah is no doubt speaking of this very time, a time when instead of looking back, the people of God will worship Him in terms of how He is restoring them to their land. Whatever the future holds, we are now standing on the threshold of a new day. Traditionally, the Song of Songs of Solomon is read on the Sabbath of Pesach. The romantic love in the song is a metaphor, a picture of the relation of Israel to her husband. It has been said that one must enter the earthly to reach the divine, and the parallel of the acute sensual harmony of a man and a woman is used repeatedly by the holy prophets concerning Israel and her head. The new day will see a remnant of Jewish people, Judah, entering into a relationship with a remnant from among the Gentiles, a body with the Christ of glory as their head. And this union will have the nature of a marriage, with all the symbolic language of the Song of Songs. The prophet Joel declares that it will be at the time of Passover, that the bridegroom will go forth of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet. In any case, it will not be long, for the Shulamite is watching through the lattice, the feasts and fasts of the Scriptures, and soon all will be fulfilled. The final time in this Seder, we all lift our hearts to Him who is altogether lovely. God of our salvation, holy and righteous, we dedicate this cup, a symbol of our very lives, to your plan. Accept our works, present and future, to the glory of your kingdom on earth. Hearken to our prayers, thou who dwells in the light that no man can approach. Oh, accepted
Be our service before God.
When will you reign in Zion? Speedily, Lord, we pray. Well, there and forever. Oh, let it be in our days. May you be magnified and
Amen.